Once again, the Lord of Patriarchy and Big Lundi will do battle. We just had a bunch of pre-show banter, which is probably better than anything we're going to fucking do tonight. Wish you guys would have seen that, but screw it. That's for us. All right, tonight we're talking on Judge Kavanaugh. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing that he was confirmed? You know my side. You probably know Lundy's side. Let's just get into this shit. Lundi, why don't you start us off?
All right. So main thing for me as far as Kavanaugh's concerned is I do see it as sort of like I knew it was going to happen. Like I knew that he was going to get confirmed, regardless of what happened, regardless of what anybody found out about the accusations or anything. I knew he was just going to be confirmed. From day one, it was very obvious. Like before any of the accusations, when he was just doing his normal spiel of doing the interview with all of Senate, and he's giving evasive answers about this and that, and they're asking about his voting record, about his judge record, about what he did for the Bush administration and what he did for Clinton, and all these sorts of things. And he's just being super evasive and being like, I don't recall doing anything. I never even had a career before this. I don't even know why I'm here. Like that's basically the way that he portrayed himself, which, you know, par for the course, I guess. He basically had the same thing going on with Gorsuch for his whole fucking thing. So I just looked at that and I'm like, this is just par for the course. And the accusations came out. And I'm like, okay, so what's going to happen here? They're going to either address it or they're going to pretend it doesn't exist. But you know, it got so much press that they felt they needed to address it. So they were like, okay, well, let's have her come and do like a testimony in front of all of us. And that was a bluff. I don't know if you know that, but that was a bluff on the part of the Republican senators. They didn't think she was actually going to fucking do that. They thought, we'll say you have to come here, you have to give your testimony in front of us on TV, and then we're all gonna question you, and then we'll investigate, and then we'll talk to them. They knew she wasn't going to do. They thought anyway she wasn't going to do that, because who the fuck would? Who the fuck would do that?
Really?
What?
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt your opening statement, but
I was going to keep going for a long time. I got a lot of points on.
Well, you're fucking spewing a mountain of bullshit. One, if you want to talk about the modern process of confirming a Supreme Court nominee, you can go all the way back to fucking Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the fucking woman that all you fucking Democrats love to suck the pussy of. That's what she did. That is what she did.
I know, because this is the basic process. This is what I'm saying.
Amount to nothing.
This is what I'm saying. It's par for the course.
Christine Blasey Ford, her story, she didn't bring it up to anyone until it was fucking politically convenient for someone. She didn't bring it up for 30 fucking years.
You're wrong.
When did she bring it up?
Signed affidavit, 2012. Her therapist that she actually knows exactly
30
what happened.
years after it happened.
Well, it wasn't politically
happened.
Hey, Corpse, you said she didn't bring it up until it was politically convenient. Was it politically convenient in 2012 when she brought it up to her therapist? No, so you're wrong. There you go. Done.
Okay, and she couldn't remember details. Story changed a ton. When she told her therapist, okay, the amount of guys in the room. The amount of guys that did it to her.
Oh yeah. Where's that? Where's that? She only named 2 people.
Off, she can't fucking remember when the fuck it happened. She can't remember when the fuck it happened. She can't even remember the amount of guys. When she told her therapist the first time, it was 4 guys. Then it changed to 3.
No. She said that there were people. She said that there were. She remembered 4 people at the party, but she did say it was 2 people who are highly respected in the government. That is what she said.
Oh yes, and that's not fucking vague.
Because she didn't want to fucking start a shit. She didn't want to start shit, Corpse.
Oh my God, give me a fucking break. Please, can we dispense with the whole "we believe women" crap? Can we dispense with that? I'll believe you if you actually have something to back your shit up with.
There's no reason to
destroy a good man, if you want to
destroy him, yeah, all right.
If you want to what other choice? What would have happened if he would have lost this with this hanging over him?
He would have not been a Supreme Court justice. How terrible!
He would have been destroyed.
No, he wouldn't have. No, yes, he wouldn't have. You already know it doesn't fucking happen.
The bullshit. Yes, he would have.
No, he wouldn't have. All that would have happened is he wouldn't have been a Supreme Court justice. That's it.
Bullshit. He would have been disbarred from the court.
Based on what? Based on what do you say this? Based on what?
If you want to say that an accusation alone with no corroborative evidence can bar someone for the Supreme Court, then he would have gone back to his federal appeals court job and found himself facing either A, the bar, or B, he would have faced judicial removal. And then, most likely, he would have lost his legal license. You are aware that when you go before the bar to get your license to practice law, one of the things they do look at is your morality. I think it's bullshit, but that's the way it is.
It's just an interview for a job.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That's exactly what it is.
Not what this turned into. This turned into a goddamn trial.
Well, he wasn't going to get convicted of anything.
Fucking important. Why did Dianne Feinstein sit on it till the last fucking possible second, release it, and then we had all this bullshit? This was nothing more than a stalling tactic by the Democrats, because they knew they were going to lose this shit.
It was nothing more than a stalling tactic. So you think Ford was like working with the Democrats or something?
Well, considering that, yeah, she was coached by a lot of them.
Who?
She was coached by Democratic strategists.
Who?
She was, I don't know their names.
Exactly, because this is all nonsense. You're just repeating bullshit. You're just repeating bullshit that you've heard about this. She wasn't coached by anybody. She had a couple fucking lawyers who came to her and were like, okay, we're going to let you know how you do this.
Okay.
That's standard operating procedure.
Then why wasn't this brought up when Kavanaugh, when he took the stand, which is when Dianne Feinstein knew about it.
It was brought up when
she sat on it for 2 fucking months.
It was brought up because Ford said she was willing to testify for it. That's why.
Okay, and if you want to talk about that, okay, she has to drive to DC because she has a fear of flying, despite the fact that an ex-boyfriend of hers said they rode around in prop planes together, which is literally the scariest plane to ride around in.
Maybe that's how she found out she had a fucking problem with flying. This notion that she has you have frequent flyer miles, therefore your thing about driving here is bullshit. It's all fucking red herrings.
Bullshit.
It's all red herring. It's all red herrings. It doesn't fucking matter. It's not irrelevant to anything. It's pointless.
So basically, you want to fucking go so far as to say a man should be convicted, sentenced based on nothing more than
No. I literally have been telling you that this was not a trial. That this was
wasn't a trial.
No, it wasn't. Okay. What criminal charges
would have been the outcome?
What criminal charges was he facing, Workhorse? What criminal charges was he facing?
Okay, this was a trial. This was a drumhead trial.
It was a trial. So what was he being charged with, Workhorse?
He was being charged with basically rape.
He was. That's new because she didn't even say that he raped her.
Not in the legal sense, but you can be
so basically you're making things up.
Bullshit. You're really gonna tell me that he would have went back to his job?
Yes, because nobody proved this in court. He would never get convicted of it. So what the fuck do you mean his life would be over?
He wouldn't be convicted. You honestly think he would have been a sitting judge with this hanging over him? No. Bullshit. He would have been disbarred.
Please, I can fucking Google judges that have.
He would have been disbarred.
I can fucking Google judges that have some fucking bullshit about them. Like, this is nonsense. This idea that if he didn't get if he didn't get voted through, all of a sudden he wouldn't be a judge anymore and his life would be ruined is all a bunch of nonsense. It's a bunch of nonsense that has just been pushed by political talking heads that have no idea what they're talking
bullshit.
about.
That is fucking bullshit.
You're basing this off of nothing, Warcorps. You're literally just saying, well, that makes sense to me.
Nothing.
No, I'm basing this off of exactly
how many men have had their lives destroyed based on an accusation?
Not many.
Bullshit.
Please. Louis C.K. admitted to fucking sexual misconduct, and he took a 7-month vacation.
That wasn't sexual misconduct. That was just him being weird.
Masturbating in front of people who didn't want him to masturbate in front of them?
Well, supposedly from what I know, the door was open. They could have left.
Well, yeah, and they did. They were saying, hey, could you not do that? and he's like, "Oh, my bad." Like, listen to yourself, Warcraft. You're saying, "Well, he was." It's just weird to masturbate in front of people. It's not illegal. It is illegal, Warcraft. That's a crime.
Bullshit.
That's a crime.
Look,
but he admitted to it. And what happened to him? What happened to him?
What happened to him? I think it's fucking weird.
What happened to him? What happened to him, Warcorpse? He fucking took a 7-month vacation. Now he's back doing stand-up. Nobody cares.
Oh, my God. Oh, and his career is not affected by it. Really, you have every feminist news outlet saying he had performed in front of an empty house, which is a lot.
Based on what metric? Based on what metric are you saying that his career has been affected?
He's not where he once was.
Based on what?
I don't know. Based on what he could have made, where he could have played.
You're just speculating here. Like, this is nothing. You're giving me nothing. I'm telling you, like, this notion that, like, if you're merely accused of something, then that's enough to ruin your entire life is just a scare thing that fucking people have been saying for a long time. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Let's say it's not somebody famous. The guy who Emma Sokowitz has been credibly disproven. He can't find a job. He still has people harassing him day in and day out.
Who?
The guy who Emma Sokowitz accused. Mattress cunt, as I call her. The mattress, the woman that mattress bitch at the university said that he raped her despite the fact that all the evidence.
I don't know anything about. Well, I know about the mattress girl, but I don't know anything about the person that she accused being.
Yeah, his life was destroyed.
Okay, just if you could send me a source on that would be great. I'm not expecting you to have it right now, but
I don't.
I don't know anything about this guy, and I can't confirm anything that you're saying about him. Like, for all I know, this is all just you making more stuff up.
Well, and it's been a couple of years, so maybe he did get his life back. Unfortunately, there are tons of guys that have had their lives destroyed. And yes, you're going to have to take my word for it. Again, I don't have...
My brother was falsely accused of sexual assault. His life is way better now than it was then.
Okay, so...
Like, why are you so full in on this?
Because more often than not... Now, maybe your brother got lucky, but more often than not, his life is destroyed.
I got a buddy
fucking side.
I got a buddy over in the UK who basically who was also falsely accused of rape, specifically from spite from one of his ex-girlfriends. And his basic thing is, yeah, I'm in college and I'm doing my master's right now. My life is going fine. Like, this is not the life-ending thing that you keep saying that it is. Like, I've known people that this has happened to, and they're doing fucking fine.
And I have had friends. I have a friend. This wasn't false rape. Well, it kind of was, because that's what she brought up in the divorce. But this is more of a divorce proceeding. His life's destroyed. He has to give 25% to his kid.
I'm guessing it has
25% to her.
I'm guessing it has more to do with the divorce than it does the false accusation.
Now, yeah, this was a bad example, but again, But again, I have gotten emails. I've read stories of I don't know how many men that have had their lives destroyed by this. For all the times that and let's be honest. Okay, let's get back to something with the fourth thing. You just said
before we keep going for a second, while you're grabbing that, can you also grab me the YouTube link for this so that I can send it to people like I asked?
Oh, all right. Let me. All right. Well, hold on. Let me send you this little thing here. All right, I sent you it in the Google Hangouts chat.
All right, I got it. We're good. Where the fuck? There we go.
Once again, What the fuck was I talking about? I don't remember.
We were talking about whether or not this is going to ruin Brett Kavanaugh's life, and my position is that any statement that says that this is going to ruin his life is pure speculation and has
Okay. All right.
because
Yeah,
this was because
remember.
while these were testimonies that were given, this was not an actual trial. This was an interview that was being given, and they were investigating
I
something.
still say
That's the
this
maximum
was a
this was.
trial.
He was not going to get arrested for anything. He was not charged with anything. There was nobody prosecuting him for this. This was not a trial in any definition of the word.
Bullshit. He would have lost his job. He would have been disbarred.
Again, speculation.
Once again, you've been on the other side of this. You've been when a man has been accused of nothing more than an allegation.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you not on my side on this one? Because you know how damaging it can be. Wait. There is guilt before innocence.
Wait. So I know how damaging this can be, even though the two people that I know this has happened to are doing way better than the time in which it happened. Like my brother, when it happened to my brother, he was like a super big alcoholic who was fucking also like on a shit ton of fucking drugs. And he was like, his life was fucking out of fucking control. That's why he was sleeping with random ass fucking women, especially ones that would be like, you slept in the same bed as me. That means you raped me. Like that's what happened to him essentially. What happened is the police came by and they were like, well, we can't find any evidence that you two even had sex. So don't worry about it. What happened to the other guy I know over in the UK? His ex told a bunch of his friends that he raped her, and his friends are like, he wouldn't do that. So, I mean, did you report this to the police? And she's like, no. And they're like, well, I mean, if I don't know. I'm not gonna just take your word for it. Like you seem to have this belief that like people just like a woman has the ability to destroy a man's life just by going, you raped me. But it's not true. It's just not true.
No, they do.
No, I'm not. And by the way, to Brandon Padgett there, I'm not saying that if you're falsely accused of rape, your life will be better. I'm saying that it's not going to ruin your life because I know people who have had it happen to them and their lives have not been affected whatsoever by it.
And there are many more men who have had their lives destroyed.
Which again, you're telling me to take this on faith, essentially.
Well, you're telling me to take a woman's rape accusation on faith.
No, I'm not telling you to take a woman's rape accusation on faith. Let me paint this in a way in which that might be a little bit easier. So let's say that you have a child, right? You have a child and you have to hire like a babysitter for your child.
Okay.
So you're doing interviews for babysitters and you find one person and you talk to him for a little bit and, you know, he's not really giving you yes or no's when you ask him like, so what is your way of disciplining children? Do you make sure
I would never hire a male for a babysitter?
Well, let's say it's a woman then. Let's say it's a woman. So they're giving you like evasive answers. They're like, well, you know, I just kind of do what I need to do. I've got references. You can contact them if you have any questions. Really, like I'm a professional. I've done this for a long time. Like, okay. Well, let me finish this off because you're already not hiring from that. So blah. But let's also say that like another woman comes up to you and it's like, hey, so you don't know her. She's like, hey, so I heard you were thinking about potentially hiring this woman for a babysitting job. And I just want to let you know that when she babysitted for me, she sexually assaulted me. And now you don't know that that's true. And when she's like, well, I know this person were like around at the time, and you talk to two of them and they're just like, we don't really remember anything. And then one of them is like, I'm pretty sure it happened. Like, and then when you ask the person you're interviewing about it, they're like, listen, I'm a good person. All right. And this is nonsense. Like, yeah, sure. I drink. Yeah, sure. Who doesn't drink? Yeah. Like they're just going, they're not even like denying anything really. They're just saying, they're just being evasive. They're like, oh, you know what this is? This is a conspiracy against me. That's what this is. It's a conspiracy against me. All of this, you would think, would be enough for anybody to be like, maybe we should find a different person to potentially babysit. And if that's the case, why the fuck are we not holding our Supreme Court justices to, at the very least, that standard?
No, I wouldn't. First, if somebody came up, if I was going to hire this nanny, this mythical nanny, and somebody came up and she was a young lady, and she said, "Oh yeah, by the way, while she was being my nanny, she tried to lick my pussy." I'd be like, okay. I go to investigate. When the investigation comes up with nothing, which is what the Kavanaugh investigation came up with, I would literally go, okay, I have her story and I have this other lady's story. I have to give the nanny the benefit of the goddamn doubt.
Why wouldn't you just look for somebody who wasn't accused of rape?
Because I don't think, once again, we were arguing about this. You think, okay, why would we let Judge Kavanaugh sit on this on the federal judiciary court? Because, well, he's been accused of rape. Why wouldn't we just look? Why should he be denied something because he was accused of something?
It's not denying him.
Yes, it is.
He's not entitled to a seat on the Supreme Court.
No, he's not, but he was offered it. He cleared every goddamn hurdle. He cleared every goddamn hurdle and every goddamn roadblock. And then
hurdles and roadblocks in the
hour, you had Senator Dianne Feinstein bring this bullshit up.
Well, you and I both know that there's very little in terms of hurdles and roadblocks. Essentially, all you need to do is prove that you're loyal to the party who want to put you in. That's all you need to do, and that's all Brett Kavanaugh needed to do. This is nonsense, this idea that he's worked really hard for this, and he's earned it.
Okay, so let's say if it was a leftist judge and they get accused, okay?
Yeah,
if we want to go with this fucking standard, then Bill Clinton should not have been president.
I despise Bill Clinton. And I think that if we let this judge was up for this and they had the same level of accusation and shit that fucking Kavanaugh did, I'd say, no, find someone else. And they'd be like, well, we got to be careful because there's midterms coming up. We might lose the midterms. I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. I don't want someone who I'm going to be suspicious may have potentially sexually assaulted someone on the highest court in the land. Especially not somebody who comes out blaming the other party for this accusation. Because really? Yes.
If I was Kavanaugh, do you know what I would have done the second I got into fucking that show trial? I would have just been flicking people off saying, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and Dianne Feinstein, I hope your fucking cunt rots out.
Right, and you probably still would have been passed because no one gives a shit. But at the same time, I would say that would demonstrate the temperament of somebody who doesn't deserve to even be a high court judge.
It's temperament. It only matters what his interpretation of the law is. You can be the angriest, drunkest human being on the planet, and as long as you interpret the Constitution
that's the thing,
the law.
I've watched lawyers analyze this thing neutrally. They're just like, okay, let's just take a look at this. And they're firstly, one thing that they do, and you would like this, is them saying, now, is what we've been presented with enough to convict Kavanaugh of a crime? No. I would say that it's not. Now, there are people who say that there's no evidence, but that's not really how court evidence works. Her testimony and his testimony both work as evidence, but that's besides the point. And then they would say, now, in terms of whether
on perjury too, she can also be brought up on lying.
Well, Kavanaugh can't be brought up on lying, and we know that he spouted a lot of bullshit. So fucking, I mean, Devil's Triangle, War Corpse. What's a Devil's Triangle? It's a drinking game. Please,
the Devil's Triangle is a three-way with two men.
Exactly, but fucking, what did Kavanaugh say? It's a drinking game with 3 drinks and quarters. That's what he said. Like, he clearly lied. But we're not bringing him up on perjury because perjury is a very difficult thing to actually prosecute.
Well, it's a big difference to lie about getting fucked up in college or high school.
You're still lying in front of people that are sworn to tell the truth.
To lie about raping someone.
You're still lying in front of people that you're sworn to tell the truth to. That's what perjury is. You're lying under oath. That's the crime. Now, we're not bringing him up on this because it's an extremely difficult thing to actually prosecute. That's why Bill Clinton didn't get fucking convicted of jack shit, even though
he did.
Even though,
yes, he did.
Did he?
Yes.
I know he got impeached, but I didn't know that anything actually came of it.
The Senate convicted him, or the House convicted him, excuse me. The Senate chose not to either impose or pass sentence, whatever the correct legal term is.
Okay.
So he was allowed to be president till his dying day.
Well, regardless, not till his dying day.
Well,
obviously,
he was allowed all the respect we give all ex-presidents.
At that point, I think he had like what, 2 years left. Not even that, I don't think.
Well, if we want to be on the same standard.
Well, no, I already told you I don't like Clinton. I think he's a fucking terrible person.
Also, I'm sure you're with me when I say maybe we should throw some of these teachers who fuck their male students in jail.
Yes. Well, see, here's the thing about I have a different philosophy. No. I do think we should treat male and female rapists the same. My thing is that we have a different philosophy when it comes to the prison, just as a concept. I don't really believe in the prison complex that we have. I don't accept it. I don't like it. So I would probably do something different, both with male and female rapists and pedophiles. So that's what I'm saying. Main thing that I would do as far as that's concerned is try and put them in some sort of like a unit that would try and rehabilitate them, because what we do now is essentially just putting them in a cell for so many years and just being like, you learned your lesson now, right? And then they're like, sure, and then they get out and nothing changed. It's fucking pointless. It doesn't do anything. All it does is basically make people
send them to an island, let them kill and fuck each other. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that would probably get us the ire of basically the entirety of the world if we did that. But regardless, the thing is that Kavanaugh showed, like, and I was listening to lawyers talk about this from a lawyer's perspective. They're like, so one thing that needs to be examined is whether or not he has the temperament of a judge. And something that we look at when we look at a judge is whether or not they're capable of being neutral when they're analyzing the law. And when he came out and essentially blamed the entirety of the Democratic Party as well as the Clintons for him being put on this, it showed. He
was being accused of rape. I would have been pissed off too.
You
still can't into that fucking courtroom.
It's fine to be pissed off.
Middle fingers blazing.
It's fine to be pissed off.
Fuck you. Kiss my fucking ass.
It's perfectly fine to be pissed off, but you can't just randomly blame your political opponents if you're supposed to be a neutral party. That's not how it works.
Hillary Clinton is not exactly your average everyday political opponent.
Well,
again,
look, he blamed the Democratic Party.
What was putting his nomination in jeopardy was less than what her husband was accused of. And Hillary Clinton told the accuser to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so but here's the other thing. Here's the other thing.
Woman to shut up.
Here's the other thing. Fucking what? Bill Clinton was supposed to be fired from his job. That was supposed to be the end result of his impeachment. What was going to happen to Kavanaugh? He wasn't going to get the job he wanted.
Oh my God, no bullshit! Yes, he would have been destroyed.
You're
gonna stand there and tell me you're gonna have a sitting federal judge with a rape accusation hanging over him, and he's just gonna go back and do trials? No, he would have been disbarred, and he would have been removed from the bench. No.
Again, you have no basis for this whatsoever. No basis.
No basis for your fucking shit.
I have exactly what it is. I know exactly what I'm saying right now, because what I'm saying is the fact of the matter. It was an interview for a job. That's all this was.
You honestly are going to stand there and tell me that he would have just went back to being a federal judge or a federal.
I see no reason to believe otherwise.
Bullshit. That's complete crap.
Give me a solid reason to believe otherwise.
One, he would have had massive protests against him. Two, he would have article after article after article wrote about him. Three, his name would have been disgraced. Four,
based on what?
Based on the accusation alone.
Not based on the accusation alone. This is what you're not
fucking getting.
War Corpse. The person
that somebody that gets accused of rape they'll just walk back to their former life.
Yes, of course.
No,
War Corpse.
This
War
does
Corpse.
not go away.
War Corpse.
You know, in the words of
You already admitted that it does. You brought up the mattress girl, and then you couldn't even remember the name of the person that she accused. You couldn't remember jack shit about him.
Oh my
God! Obviously, this is
fucking. Okay, give me a.
And then you can't name me any other specifics of people whose lives have been ruined by false accusations. You got nothing.
Really, I can't.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Again, the guy in the mattress girl situation.
That's not. Oh my God, you're not.
He cannot find a job. Nobody wants to hire him.
You just admitted earlier.
Blacklisted.
You already admitted earlier you have no basis for this, and you haven't actually read up on him at all.
No, I have.
No,
okay. No, but I have. But my information ends a couple of years ago. Now, maybe he did find a job and blah, blah, blah.
What? Which would entirely derail what you're saying. You're saying, oh, your life is ruined, but he's probably fine now. Like, what the fuck? Do you not see the contradiction here?
Oh my God, really? Okay. Do you not think it is wrong for a man to have his life destroyed for any length of time because of a rape accusation?
I think it's a tragedy if that happens, but at the same time, I don't really believe that actually happens.
I say it does, and I have proof that it does. The guy that I just read a story this week. A woman was proved to be a liar in court. I think she should be going to jail for perjury. She lied about being raped. Now, this guy, I don't know about his job prospects. I don't know anything about him. But he still has a $60,000 court bill. How is that fair?
It's usually that is usually paid for by the people, usually the other side. If your court bill is that big,
not in a criminal,
especially yes, of course, in a criminal case.
Yes, not in a criminal case.
Especially in a
criminal case, you're just
that
trying
would be
to stay out of prison.
That would be handled by the lawyers in negotiation phases. Are you kidding me? That's already
bullshit. No, you don't know the law.
Oh, dear God.
You want to go down this road? I can go down this road.
Sure.
I am telling you that in a criminal case, now, yes, on a civil case, yes, they get their attorney's fee paid for. In a criminal case, however, they don't always get their attorney's fee paid for.
No, they don't always, but generally, if it's something that's
this guy has a $60,000 bill.
Okay, and you have no idea how that's going to be paid. You just assume it's going to be paid directly by him out of his fucking paychecks or some shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, you crowdfund or something, but
because here's the thing. If it's an open and shut case,
but like why is that guy? Why does that guy even have to be bothered with the inconvenience of court?
Because this bitch decided to fucking lie, and that's why she's going to jail. Like,
why is it when it comes to rape, a woman's good word is enough to drag a man to trial? Why is that good?
No. That's true of any crime, Warcorpse.
Bullshit.
No, that's true of any crime. If you
really a fucking teacher rapes her fucking 15-year-old student, she walks out of court, she's fine.
But she still has to go to court. Holy shit.
Yeah, after admitting it. Why is it that when a man says something, like a man says, this woman raped me, he's laughed off?
Because unfortunately, Workhorse, we live in America where all crimes have to be treated seriously and all accusations have to be treated seriously. I know that seems unfair to you, but unfortunately, that's the world we live in because we have some semblance of justice.
Yeah. It's only treated seriously if you're a woman.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so what about all the registered female sex offenders?
I would love to know some because most of them don't have to register. Seriously, most of the teachers that fuck their kids, getting back to that, don't have to register as sex offenders.
Well,
they usually get off, and they usually do not have to register.
Well, according to this, there's a lot of fucking females on. In fact, there's websites that you can look up that check your area for like all people who are on the sex offender registry. And I remember not that long ago, just on a whim, looking up my area, and I got a bunch of them. Some dudes, some women, usually older women. I mean, this is this is not like you seem to be under this impression that like women just get off all the time when they don't. What happens is that highly politicized or highly like media circus level cases usually get way too much attention, and then you just sort of assume that that's representative of what happens, but it's not. Most of the time,
no, I don't know. All I do is just.
Well, you're not basing it on any data. I know that much. You're not basing it on any data. I know that much.
All I got to do is open up Yahoo, and I can usually find a story of a false rape allegation.
That's literally exactly what I just said.
I can usually find a story of a woman getting off.
War corpse. That is literally what I just said. I just said what happens.
You said a media
I will tell you what I said. I will tell you what I said. That you see a bunch of these publicized fucking cases, and then you just assume that that's representative of how justice works.
I didn't fucking.
You would fucking kill me. You would be like you would be fucking enraged if I was like, Brock Turner's case is the general case that happens all the time with sexual assault. You would be like, fuck you.
Well, that's what feminists fucking do.
Have I?
No, you have not.
And so why do you think that you can say I've seen news articles of women getting off?
Okay, let's go down this road. Feminists constantly say that women, 1 in 4 women will be sexually assaulted.
War corpse. I am not going to sit here and pretend to defend some strange, vague feminist idea you have in your head because I don't care. I really don't, because I know what I believe. I'm not going to interpret what some other people believe based off of your say-so of what it is that they say and try and figure out what the fuck's going on.
You know it's a lie. You know it's a lie.
I don't know jack shit. Last I heard about the fucking rape statistics is that it's closer to 1 in 5. As far as like campus,
it's 1 in about 50.
Well, maybe that's not the last thing I fucking saw.
Well, if we want to go down this road, then men are more likely to be raped too.
Oh, well, maybe. I don't fucking know. I know that they're way less likely to report it.
No, it seems it happens in prison, and the feminists don't give a shit.
I thought, God damn it. Women and men both get raped in fucking prison. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But no, the idea that a woman can get raped by 1 in 5 men, it's horseshit. It's a fucking lie. It's a fucking lie.
By the by, thanks for confirming another reason why I think we should just do away with the fucking prison system.
I'd love to know your solution. I personally think that we should go back to like a Game of Thrones thing of we have certain crimes we send you away for.
Okay, what if they were falsely convicted? What if they were falsely convicted? You're just gonna be like, well, sucks to be you. Guess you're gonna go onto the rape island. Like, fucking, you didn't even think about it.
Okay, so what's your solution to
my solution is that whatever it is that you get convicted of, there we set up all across the country, all of these different places that are specifically dealt to deal with people who have the mentality or have the life that has led them to the position to do whatever crime it is that they were convicted of, and try and actually rehabilitate them. Teach them, like if they're like poor and they steal shit and they're just like, I don't got nothing else in my life, then we're like, all right, well, we'll teach you some fucking job skills so that you can actually get a fucking job. Stuff like that. We'll basically do what we need to do to make you a productive member of society. I think that's very necessary because it's way better than wasting our fucking money having everybody stay in prison for years, usually over fucking like non-violent crimes, even like fucking pot and just holding it or just having it or having smoked it in front of somebody, and then they're like, ugh, like fucking 5 years minimum sometimes for having an ounce on you. Like, it's fucking dumb. We're spending way too much money doing nothing other than having people sit in a fucking prison. What we should do is we should put them in places that we can help them learn job skills and shit, help them learn to be better people, because that helps everybody. If everybody is going to be a good worker who does good stuff, who has marketable job skills and stuff, that stimulates the economy. Everybody fucking wins. That's the best thing to do. Well, you might be, now you might be like, well, what about like murderers and like serial rapists and pedophiles? And I'd be like, well, we already know of several different psychiatric techniques that help pedophiles not offend. We should probably look more into that and try and incorporate that as far as the pedophiles are concerned. I don't have a problem with someone who's a pedophile. I have a problem with an offending pedophile. It's the harm that they cause that's the problem, not the mere mentality. Because, you know, things have been said. I haven't double checked on this. I'm not sure if it's true, but the general idea that's currently being floated about is that when you're a pedophile, you were born with the predisposition to being one, and that's not a lot you can do about that. And I have no reason to disagree with that, because it seems reasonable to me, because I'm not attracted to children, so I don't understand how someone can be unless they were born with a predisposition to doing that. So what we need to do is figure out a way to help those people learn how to control themselves and not offend or anything along those lines. As far as murderers are concerned, we have a lot of different types of murderers out there. We have first-degree murderers, second-degree murderers, people who are guilty of like fucking manslaughter and shit, involuntary manslaughter, fucking manslaughter via negligence, shit like that. We need to treat all of those things differently, like we still do, and learn how to better rehabilitate them, as well as get them to have the ability to pay back for what it is that they've done to the surviving kin of whoever it is they got killed. That would be important. I think that the death sentence is fucking dumb, because all it does is
you support abortion.
Because those are different concepts. Like, they're not the same to me.
No,
I mean, I don't consider a fetus a person. I consider a criminal.
I don't either. But
I consider a criminal a person.
I also say if you're gonna kill one, you're gonna kill the other.
I know you say that, but that to me just means that you don't understand either.
All right, you kind of pissed me off. So
all right,
I'm gonna destroy you.
I like the way you say it. You know what? You pissed me off. I'm gonna destroy you. It's the least aggressive "I'm gonna destroy you" I've ever heard in my life.
Look, we can yak all day, and in truth, for anyone hearing this, I don't agree with private prison systems. I think private prisons are bad. I think that if you have done something to harm society, you must go to a place called a prison, and this prison must be paid for by all of us. Okay, that's the deal. Okay, I don't like private prisons. I also don't agree with prison for nonviolent offenders. I don't think that I don't give a shit if it's 2 pounds a pot. I don't think you need to end up in prison.
Well, be careful, because nonviolent offenses can also encapsulate people, you know, like avoiding paying taxes. So when you say like everybody has to pay for these prisons, some people will like find a way not to, and basically you're saying, well,
all right, well, you could use the taxes argument as harming the society at large because you didn't pay your fair share. All right.
Well, I'm just saying, nonviolent offense doesn't mean that like you haven't done anything wrong. Like, well, sometimes
you've not hurt anyone and you've not harmed the society at large, I don't think you should go to prison. If you want to go and shoot up heroin, I personally think that should be legal. I personally think if you want to go and you want to get fucked up on heroin, go for it. I don't give a shit.
So you gotta be kind of careful, and I say this because if you have like nobody who's like dependent on you, I don't give a fuck what you do. But if you have like children and shit that you're supposed to be taking care of, I don't want you like doing heroin and crack and shit, because I want those kids taken care of, because if you don't take care of them, then I do.
Okay, but you could make the same argument for the alcoholic parent who goes and buys a case of beer and doesn't take care of his kids. And that's legal.
Yeah, I would say that that's irresponsible as well.
Once again, we're still taking care of the goddamn kids.
I know.
Also, Big Lundi, you're kind of weirding me out on this one because, again, I don't want to take care of them, but I also don't want to. I also am against things like universal health care, paying for school lunches, and all that other shit too.
Right.
So are you on my side or?
Well, I think that those things are things that need to be provided for every child, and like not all parents are capable of that. But every parent is capable of at least providing basic care for their children. And if they put themselves willfully in a position where they're not, if they put themselves willfully in a position where they're not capable of doing that, that's an irresponsible parent thing. I don't think that we should say that somebody is being held responsible for being an irresponsible parent because they're just not, they just don't have enough money to send them to a good private school. Like I think that would be kind of ridiculous.
Well, I think public schools should be available, but I also think mommy should make.
Well, that's us taking care of kids, War Corpse.
Again, I disagree. I agree with it to a point. Where I disagree
right. So what is your cutoff? What is your metric for which you go, all right, I'll support your kids up to this point? What is that point?
All right. I didn't even get to finish my point on the prison systems, but
we'll get back to it probably.
But all right, okay. As most of you know, I'm not the biggest fan of the school system. Here's my cutoff. 1, teachers' unions should be banned. I was a member of a union for a long fucking time. Unions are garbage. They are dog shit. They do nothing. Really, Lundi, you ever been in one?
I was in one. Not for long because I didn't have the job for very long. Because it was just a high school.
Yeah, it's dog shit. All they do is take your money and do nothing fucking for you. Unions are fucking terrible.
Maybe some of them are. I mean, I'm not gonna disagree that some of them do that, but I would be very skeptical that every union. Yeah. I would be very skeptical about that.
Outside of maybe, I will say this: outside of truckers who are independent contractors mostly, outside of that, outside of a thing where you're mostly independent, they're dog shit. They are fucking goddamn dog shit.
Yeah, but at the same time, even
they don't give a fuck about you. They don't fight for you. They don't make things better for you. They don't give two fucking shits about you.
We should move on so you can actually answer the question I asked.
Actually, yeah, we could probably do a debate on the efficacy of unions. I hate them.
I mean,
they are fucking dog shit.
Personally,
my thoughts. Give a fuck about you.
Personally, my thoughts on unions are that it's a case by case basis with me. Some of them may suck. Some of them may be a lot better. I think that they serve a purpose that is somewhat necessary when they do exist, but some of them don't serve that purpose well. That's
once again. In an industry where you're largely independent, they have a point. If you're not, then they suck. They're fucking garbage. All right, what the fuck was I gonna counter?
I was talking about what I would do to reform the prison system. And
right. Okay. Here's my thing. 1, I don't think that anybody who is arrested for anything nonviolent deserves prison. Yes, there are maybe times when Somebody needs to be arrested for that. But again, most nonviolent crimes, I don't give a shit about. Drug crimes, no. If you want to get fucked up on heroin, I don't give a flying rat's ass. If you want to get fucked up on meth, I don't give a flying rat's ass. As long as you don't hurt anyone else, I could give a shit less if you're going to die 115 pounds in an alleyway. Don't care. However, the people that do offend and the people that reoffend, I don't know if there is a rehab path back for them. Again, I could be wrong. Again, I also think that what we send people to prison for should be rewrote. Again, I don't think stealing a car when you're 16 deserves prison. Maybe maybe 6 months in jail. We should also evaluate jail. But if you're a hardcore criminal, then, well, sorry, but fuck you. Off to the island.
I think it would be best
for pedophiles. I don't want to get too personal, but I've seen it. I've seen the effects.
So have I.
And yeah, fuck you. I'll tie you to a tree, cut your balls off, and let you bleed to death. I have no compassion.
I have a girlfriend right now. Well, girlfriend, it's we're a thing anyway. And she has been a victim of such. I know of several people that went to my high school that ended up being pedophiles to
as did I think my valedictorian got caught with that.
A disgusting degree. I don't mean like they raped like a 10-year-old or 9-year-old. I mean like a 2-year-old, like a 1-year-old, like a literal baby. Like ugh. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that if I was in a room with a bunch of people who had raped kids and I had a gun in my hand, that I wouldn't shoot them. I'm not going to tell you I wouldn't. What I am saying is that that's the emotional thing. And I don't think that legislation and policy should be dictated by emotion.
But isn't justice in a way? Like, no, I don't. I agree with you, actually. I don't think policy and legislation should be dictated by emotions. However, I do believe at some point for the victims' families or the victim survivors or whatever the fuck it is, I think, maybe it is a little bit of we need to have a little bit of emotion. And again, you're not gonna fucking help these people. You're not gonna rehabilitate these people. So it's over. It's done.
There's an ethical consideration there's a meta ethic that's called emotivism. And essentially what that is it says that our ethics, the way in which we view right and wrong, are at least fundamentally stem from our emotions about whatever it is that we're talking about. And I think I resonate a little bit with that. The thing that I'm pointing out is not that emotions have zero place. I should probably word this better, but that they shouldn't be the deciding factor as to what it is that we do.
Okay, so I love how in 1 minute you can say that, and again, I'm on the side of both of these things. So please don't think I'm some weird, crazy, again, I got into a pretty heated argument about abortion.
War corpse.
But I love how you can sit there and say that abortion is okay, but then sit there and complain about the efficacy of killing someone for a crime.
Because of the issue,
I do not see the difference.
I already explained the difference. I already explained the difference. A fetus is not a person. I define personage as something. As
potato.
I define personage very specifically. It's someone who's capable of reciprocating the rights that they give to other people, at least, or the rights that we give to them, at least to some degree. They're capable.
But I also say
they're capable of like recognizing.
Then your life is forfeit.
They're capable of recognizing that they're alive. They're capable of recognizing like the world around them to at least some degree.
I don't deny that. However, they chose to do an act that, in my opinion, says your life is now forfeit.
Yes, but now that they are a person, this is not. I don't believe in such a thing as an action that means your life is forfeit, for one thing. And for another thing, I would say that regardless of how it is you want to institute a death penalty, it's necessarily going to be problematic, because what we've been trying to do for a very long time is institute a death penalty that we think is fair. But in doing so, what we've done is it costs like millions of dollars just to kill one person, because we have to be like, well, it's always possible that this might not be a true conviction. It's always possible that that something may have gone wrong.
Yes. I'm aware
we have to do the endless appeals process. We have to push back the date as far as fucking possible. So they're basically serving life in prison on top of a death sentence, and all of it ends up costing us millions of dollars, way more than somebody who really has left. And this is our attempt to be fair. So if you institute your death penalty, would it even try to be fair, or would you be like, well, if you get falsely accused and you end up getting convicted, I guess your life is forfeit. Sucks to be you.
No. One, I would institute something that says you can only give the death penalty if you have basically unappealable evidence. Basically, like, this person fucking did it.
That basically never happens.
And it doesn't.
Not really. I mean, even in the OJ case, they were capable of getting him off.
Actually, in that case, much like the Casey Anthony case, the prosecution did not have a very strong case.
Well, they had a strong case, but the thing is what the defense
they had a stronger one in the OJ case, but
what the defense did essentially is they appealed to some basic things that we can agree on, that the LAPD is known for being very aggressive towards black people, and at the time we knew that to be the case because of that fucking highly televised incident of like several officers getting out the
Mark Furman.
Yeah. So
and
we
then
knew
the Rodney King.
So they were like, listen, this Mark Furman guy, he worked on the case. We know that he's kind of racist, said the N-word before. Like they used all these like little facts to like throw a little bit of doubt in there, and that's all they needed to do, because that's how our justice system works. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The OJ case was as open and shut as it normally gets, and even he got off. So when you're sitting here saying, well, the only way you can get a death penalty is if it's an unappealable evidence, what you're essentially saying is someone needs to literally record you holding your fucking like license up with your face to the fucking camera, stabbing someone for you to be fucking convicted enough to get a fucking death penalty. And that never happens.
One, there's other forms of evidence.
No, there is. There's no such thing as unappealable.
Two, you picked a really bad case.
No, I did not. I did
yes,
not.
You did.
The OJ case was very clear in like almost every way. There's a reason why everyone was fucking outraged that he got off.
Really?
Literally, the prosecution was able to put him at the time.
Women were cheering and screaming to the heavens and thanking God that he got off.
But did you ever see Dave Chappelle's bit on why black people were like so totally awesome about it? Because they were just ecstatic that a black person was able to get away with something. They were like, holy shit, we've made it. We can fucking kill someone and actually get away with it so long as we're rich enough. This is amazing. That's why black people were ecstatic, if you listen to Dave Chappelle anyway. And so
the prosecution's case was terrible. Same thing with Casey Anthony. Same thing with all the times they've lost.
No, listen. What I'm saying is that you can have a shit ton of evidence putting you at the time, putting you at the place, giving you the motive, giving you all the opportunity that you need, and that still might not be enough. So, and that's the best. That's usually the best that one can ask for as far as a murder trial or anything along those lines is considered. That's usually the best you're going to get. And if that's not enough, then you're not going to get cases where that's enough, where you're going to be instituting this death penalty that you think we should institute, at least not in the way that you want to do it.
Okay. Once again, the prosecution's case in the OJ case was a piece of shit.
They were able to establish that he was there at the time. They were able to establish that he had the motive. They were able to establish that he had opportunity. They were able to establish literally everything that they need to establish usually.
Yeah.
The only thing that the defense did was say, hey, one of the guys is racist, and you guys didn't find a murder weapon. So
no, they didn't. And again, do I think OJ is guilty? Sure. Would I have convicted him of the crime? No.
That's what I'm saying, though, is that that's basically the best that prosecutors can get, and even then people get off.
No.
Okay, name me a more open and shut case than that.
The Menendez brothers, for example.
Well, even then, like you could definitely say that the defense could have easily pointed out the fact that the Menendez brothers were probably mentally unstable, that they had like they weren't in mind, all of these sorts of things.
Doesn't alter it.
Okay, so basically,
it might alter it enough for me to say no death penalty.
So
no. Look, you're sitting there thinking I want to just hand out death sentences like they're candy. No, I'm saying.
No, I'm glad that you don't want to just like outright just start murdering people. I'm glad.
What I want to say is, once somebody has been convicted of a murder, let's say, and I'll even go so far as to say a rape, and it's been pretty conclusively shown that they have done it. Like I want some hard cutting. No,
that's what I'm saying though, is that what you are asking for is something that almost never actually happens, which is fine. Is like, if that's your standard, if you're like, listen, you're not going to get this death penalty until we have you we have you on lock and there's no possible way you're innocent. If that's your standard, fine. But I'm just going to tell you, you're not going to be really killing that many people. You're just not.
Well, then I guess that's fine too. I mean,
well, then in
my standard is
I would say why even have that penalty if like it's almost never even given out?
Because it's there.
So
okay, look, if somebody kills somebody and there's DNA evidence that proves they killed them, okay,
DNA evidence is not very reliable.
Okay, then basically, according to you, all rape cases are just he said, she said.
Unfortunately, there's the witness testimony is basically the best you're usually going to get as far as rape cases are concerned.
Okay, so nobody should be convicted of rape then.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I do think the eyewitness testimony as a lawyer would tell you.
So Kavanaugh.
No. Just
dragging it back.
Let me say things. So, unfortunately, he said, she said is sometimes the best that most of the time the best you're going to get. Now you can do rape kits, you can do a little bit of DNA evidence, but courts usually say, okay, that's evidence, but it's not strong evidence. The thing is that it's part of a greater case to be made. Every little piece of evidence is a part of a greater whole. Not like, you have the DNA evidence, but that's not enough, so you're done. Like the testimony is one piece of evidence. The DNA is another piece of evidence. Other people who were around at the time, that's more evidence. All of these things count as additional pieces of evidence as far as a court is concerned. And usually that's what prosecutors for rape try to do. They try to establish that other people were there, or at least other people know what happened. They usually do, at the very least, encourage the victim to get a rape kit and stuff like that. That's part of it. But what you were saying before was that, well, if you have the DNA evidence proving, but that's not really how DNA evidence work, is what I'm saying, is that it doesn't actually on its own.
So basically what you're saying is that, you know, if 5 people, based on their good word, with
why would 5 people lie in court to get you arrested?
I'm gonna say
happen.
See, to me, that's a valid question, and I would not convict based on that. If all they had was 5 fucking people saying this guy did this,
I'll tell you
I would never convict on that.
I'll tell you this.
You have to give me something concrete.
I'll tell you this. Judges don't see it that way. That's not how people prosecute.
Well, you know, we have vast disagreements on the law.
I'm just saying how the law currently works. If you're basically saying, well, I don't agree with the way it works, then I guess that's a thing. But
it's bullshit. I mean, I'm sorry, but yeah, I know the old chestnut of why would 5 people lie? Why would they come together and lie?
It is something.
You're telling me there's no. If they want to destroy the guy,
well, yeah,
they can get the same story.
That's what the defense does. That's what the defense does. They try to establish that all the people.
No, it shouldn't have been brought to trial in the first place. If all they got is this stupid little fucking story.
No. It can always be brought to trial. Like I said before, testimony is evidence in courts. In fact, most of the time, eyewitness testimony is like all people usually have to go on.
Yeah, it's horseshit. It should be thrown out.
Why? Based on what?
Because A, memory is fallible. B, memory is fallible. C, memory is fallible.
That's not enough. Listen, it's not that you don't have at least a little semblance of a point, because the defense usually will try to establish that if there are witnesses, they'll try and establish that the testimony is unreliable as a result of them not remembering the things that they need to remember.
No, it's human memory has been confirmed to be unreliable.
It's not about human memory being confirmed to be unreliable, because everyone knows that human memory can be wrong, but every single case is always, well, they could still be innocent. They could still be not guilty. Every single case is
you're going from a point that they're already guilty. But
no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
The way our justice system is they are innocent until the prosecutor.
I know that. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Proves beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right, but your doubt is not reasonable. Your doubt is not reasonable. Like I said before, your idea of evidence in a court is someone has to fucking record you literally fucking doing something before you'll fucking.
Would you like to know the standard of proof given to jurors? It's 95%. You, as a prosecutor, you have to fucking prove that motherfucker.
That is not a metric. That's not real. 95% means different things to different people.
Well, geez, I only got that metric from an actual lawyer.
I know, but listen, when a lawyer says you need to be 95% certain, what the fuck does that actually mean?
It means you need to be pretty sure of the evidence presented by the prosecution, which in these cases, which in the case, the Anthony case, which in the OJ case was dog shit.
It wasn't dog shit. The defense
just pointed
out. No, the defense just pointed out like 2 fucking things. That's it. And one of those things was basically just like, well, the investigator might have a bias because he's black.
I don't give a sauteed rat's ass if the investigator was a fucking confirmed neo-Nazi.
But that
doesn't alter the fact that
was the defense. That was the defense that got him off. Is people were like, well, maybe he was racist, and that is why they're doing all of this.
Really, is that why he was acquitted with a jury made up of white and black people?
That's one of the main reasons, yeah. Because what the thing is, they confirmed something.
It wasn't all black people, by the way. You do know that.
It doesn't matter. That's one of the main reasons. Yes, that's one of the main reasons he got off is because they said something that was true. That one of the investigators was racist, and that the LAPD in itself is terrible to black people. That those are two things that were true that they could demonstrate, and they were like, there you go. They might have a reason to just.
And yet you're the one that's screaming when a cop shoots any black person. Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
Of course. What did I say? What did I say that was contradictory to that? I said they were pointing out things that are true.
You want me to believe the prosecutor's story?
No, listen.
So
you're not getting it. You're not getting it. I'm saying that the defense was saying true things, but those true things may not have actually been relevant. But the jury, the only thing that matters is that the jury thinks it's relevant.
Okay, but you want me to believe? You want me to believe? Okay, you yourself. Again, you yourself, you've sat there, and I think we might have debated this. You're sitting there with the whole Black Lives Matter shit when a cop shoots a fucking black person, no matter how right the cop is.
Yeah, because extrajudicial execution is always justified.
Oh my God.
Mister, the death penalty only exists if I have unappealable evidence, but black people.
Oh, right. So you pull a gun on a cop and he's just supposed to do nothing.
Listen, nobody is protesting someone pulling a gun on a cop and getting
fuck shot. You. Yes, they are.
Who?
Oh God, what was it? There's a bunch of these stupid cases where the guy was threatening or pulled a weapon. Or
there was one case, Tamir Rice, where he had a toy gun.
Oh, right. And the cop told him to put it down, and then he shot him. Now, yes, you could argue.
That okay? Are you okay with that?
Well, geez, it was dark.
No, it was the middle of the afternoon. He was in a park.
Okay, fine. You know what? I'll be the devil this time.
That kid should have been fucking shot. Listen,
it was fine.
Listen, you can't sit here and tell me
you can't sit there and tell me that the eternal sentence wasn't carried out.
You can't sit here and tell me two things. You got two things here that are contradictory. One, if you were in charge of distributing a death penalty, you would have to be proven to to an incredible degree it almost never fucking happens in order to actually be executed by the state. But at the same time, if a cop looks at you and you have a toy gun and they're just like, put it down, and you don't, they're just allowed to shoot you.
Okay.
Like,
two things that are incredibly different. One, my judicial sitting upon high, distributing life and death is, once again, after you've been arrested, after you've been arraigned, after you've done all this, and after you've been convicted of a jury of your peers, I sit there and decide what sentence should be imposed. And yes, I think if the state is going to legally kill someone, then yes, it should be of the highest proof. However, if in the moment when a cop doesn't know what the fuck's going on, doesn't see what's going on, only has seconds to react, and pulls out his gun and shoots somebody who might be posing a threat. Now, yes, should we maybe hold cops to a higher standard? Sure, not a problem there. But in this instance, I don't really see the cop as wrong.
You don't see the cop
just
as wrong.
Me.
Because no. I'll tell you this, that toy gun definitely looked like a toy gun. It wasn't in the middle of the night. It was during the day. And I'll tell you this, Tamir Rice is what, 12? Why the fuck would he assume it was a real gun?
Okay, why are you not screaming about the cop that tased a girl at 11?
I do. Fucking listen. I hate the cops in general because generally they're not fucking trained well. Generally, they react ridiculously, and generally they
just a thought, just a question. What race do you think the girl was? What race do you think the cop was?
I'm guessing the girl was white and the cop was black.
Nope.
Okay.
You're right on half. The girl was black. The cop was black.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, I don't like the cops.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's the best we have as far as law enforcement is concerned, so I have no option but to call them if anything happens to me. But I would prefer that we had something different.
Okay, what? You don't like the privatization of anything. So what do we have?
What we do.
We have way more instances of like citizens arrests and the guardian angels and neighborhood watches going way overboard than we do with cops.
Well, what we need to do, is you don't like unions.
No, I hate them.
I think unionizing the cops would be helpful. And I also think that what would be better is if the cop is in an area, they need to be from that area. They need to know the people in that area. It would be a way better idea because you tend to treat people you don't know worse than people that you do. So a cop is more willing to be accepting and more understanding if they have an idea of who you are.
Okay, so some cop is from an area with like a known child sex cult, and he's just fine with them diddling kids. No, the law is the law.
Sorry. How did you get there from what I said?
Well, you said, he needs to be from the area, so he's way more understanding.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he's going to say. Wait. Why does that mean he would just be totally cool with a child sex cult? How did you get from A to
B? You want to basically say that this 13-year-old stole this turkey from a mom and pop store, and the cop, he's from her area. He knows her. He knows her name. He knows her parents. So, or let's say parent, let's be honest. She's a good kid. So she stole. She has to be held accountable.
Cops in my area already do that. I have local cops in my area. I have like I have like 3. That's not enough. I'm going to say that right now. We shouldn't have to have like fucking state troopers come in whenever fucking like they want to. That I don't believe the idea of state troopers
come in when they want to.
Because state
troopers are basically responsible for the goddamn highway system.
Sure, but but they fucking come in anyway. They do plenty of fucking things in town. They're allowed to because they're state troopers. They're allowed to basically go to any fucking town that they want to.
Yeah.
But I think local law enforcement would be way better, and that local law enforcement needs to recruit inside of the locality. I'm not saying that they're going to fucking just disregard the law because they know people. I'm saying that they're not going to just automatically fucking shoot someone because maybe if a cop...
They don't automatically shoot someone. Okay, would you like to know how many people died by cop last year?
I think listen, War Corpse.
256.
One is too many.
Oh God.
I'm sorry, War Corpse, but I hold cops to
okay. So somebody's pointing a gun at a cop and they're just supposed to take the fucking bullet.
Listen, there's a difference between a cop doing self-defense and a cop who shoots someone that isn't armed, which we know happens.
256. And I throw in all the justifiable, all the unjustifiable, all of it.
Yeah?
256.
380
people were murdered in Chicago alone.
One cop shooting anyone for anything less than their life being threatened is not justifiable and not acceptable.
Bullshit. Fuck you. No.
Well, I'm sorry. That's just how it is. I'm like, listen, you can go ahead and sit
really? So somebody's going to put a bullet in your spine and you'll live, but you'll be a cripple. Oh, that's whatever. Yeah.
So when I say
shot him.
So when I say your life is being threatened, you go ahead and just disregard that?
your definition. No, I need to know your definition of what your life being threatened means.
I think it's fairly self-explanatory, but I guess the idea that it is reasonable to believe that at the current moment, someone's life is in immediate danger of being ended.
Okay, once again, a cop has a threat of getting shot in the spine. They're gonna live.
No, they don't know that. Workhorse, this is the dumbest idea I've ever fucking heard. That's the dumbest rebuttal to what I just said.
Okay,
listen, I have pure anatomical awareness, and I know that where he's going to shoot is not actually going to kill me. What the fuck are you talking about?
Fine, fuck it. A cop has a threat of being shot in the shoulder. He shouldn't rebut. Fuck you.
Of course he should, because his life is in danger.
No, shoulder shot. You're not gonna die.
Yes, it is. As far as he's aware, someone has a gun on him.
Somebody pulls a gun on him. Should he shoot him?
Yes.
Somebody pulls a knife on him. Should he shoot him?
No.
Bullshit.
What do you mean bullshit? Cops should be trained to be able to handle people with knives.
Oh my God.
Have tasers.
Really? Have you ever been stabbed? I have.
My brother has. I know a lot of people in my family have, actually, come to think of it. But regardless of that, listen, you've been stabbed, but you're fine. Have you been shot?
Never been shot.
Well, I'm gonna sit here and tell you, being shot is a little bit worse.
Not according to a friend of mine.
Okay, fine. I guess your friend's word versus mine on that. But I listen.
But no, somebody pulls a weapon on you, and you have a gun, even as a normal citizen.
Yeah,
you have the right to shoot him.
Wait. But a normal citizen is held to a lesser standard than somebody who is in charge of law enforcement.
Oh my God, no! They're presenting a threat. You fucking idiot.
Yes, they are presenting a threat, but at the same time, a police officer is armed with more than just a gun.
Oh, yes. He has the almighty taser.
He has a taser. He has pepper spray. He has a nightstick. He has plenty of fucking things.
Actually worse.
Why is it, Workhorse, that fucking every other fucking country, like the UK and shit, who have fucking cops that don't use guns except in
oh, really? You want to talk about the UK? Okay.
Except in emergencies.
About the UK. They're getting butt fucked by Islam.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. They have no-go zones.
What do you mean a no-go zone? What does that mean?
Basically, a place where the cops don't come anymore.
Oh,
a place that has been taken over by Islam.
You mean like what we have here?
Europe. It is a place where hijabs are becoming the norm.
You mean like what we have here when it comes to ghettos and cops just don't come by because they don't give a shit?
No.
Oh, it's not that. So what exactly do you mean then?
Cops are in ghettos all the fucking time. That's where most of the crime happens. But no. There are places that are literally run under Sharia law.
Fact check. Law Muslim no-go zones. The claim is that a number of localities in the United States, France, and Britain are considered Muslim no-go zones operating under Sharia law where local laws are not applicable. This is a false statement. On 7th Snopes.
Oh, yes, I'm gonna trust them.
Okay, where did you get your claim from, bitch?
People living in
random people. Good. All right, gotcha.
And your claim is any better?
Snopes is fairly reliable. Do you disagree with that? And if so, why?
Yes.
What do you think is unreliable about it?
Once again, it cuts to the left-right politics of our country. Snopes is a left-wing publication. So
based on what?
Based on all the other articles they publish.
Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean?
Give me a goddamn article from Snopes that is positive of President Trump. Give me an article. Tell you what, I am willing to basically admit that I'm fucking wrong. And I was wrong about Snopes. But give me an article that is glowing of President Trump from Snopes. Give me an article.
All right, I guess I'll look one up.
Anything at all. I'm putting it on the line. You have the ability to make me an idiot right here, right now, live.
Did President Donald Trump allow the Violence Against Women Act to expire? The claim is that on the 30th of September of 2018, the administration of President Donald Trump allowed the Violence Against Women Act to expire. False. What's true is the Violence of Women Act was due to expire on what?
It's not exactly a glowing report, but
it's basically saying, look, what do you want? What do you want? They fact check claims. What do you want? What do you want? Somebody is using a claim to attack Trump, and they're like, no, that's actually not true. What do you want?
Basically, I want them to
you want them to suck his dick? What do you mean?
No. If I wanted that, I'd say go to Fox News. No, basically, is they had to give a begrudging report, but nothing,
like 3 days ago.
Again,
listen.
Nothing saying
you literally
he's a
just
good
asked
president.
me. You asked me to pull
Nothing saying he's a good president.
What do you mean saying he's a good president? They don't do that. That's not a fact. That's an opinion. They're a fact-checking website. What the fuck are you talking about? Where do you have a single article from them of saying Hillary Clinton would have made a great president or Obama was a great president? No, because that's not what they fucking do.
All right, hold on. You're on Snopes. Let me get on Snopes.
Did Vladimir Putin rescue an injured Donald Trump from the Viet Cong? What?
All right, let me just look up Obama.
So basically what I'm getting right now from you is that you don't like Snopes because they don't shit on liberals all the time. That's what I'm getting.
Did President Trump reinstate Memorial Day for police officers canceled by Obama? Is Barack Obama more self-referential than Donald Trump? Obama urges soldiers to question Trump's
authority. They'll even hold back on things. I just looked at another one. They'll even hold back on things. There's the claim that Donald Trump made that he was there at 9/11 searching for survivors. And
all right.
And they don't even say that that's false. They just say it hasn't been proven in any way.
All right. I will say I was on Snopes, and as much as this fucking pains me to say, for this particular source, Lundy, at this particular time. God damn it. Son of a bitch.
Say it. We're waiting.
Big Lundy was right.
There you
and
go.
The whole War Corpse was wrong.
There you fucking go. It's not so fucking hard.
Yeah, it is.
Jesus.
God damn it.
All right, we've been going on for about an hour and a half now.
Oh, Jesus, we have.
You think that's good?
Jesus, we actually stayed relatively on topic, too.
I don't think we stayed on topic. We just had a lot of things.
In the realm of politics and shit like that.
I guess we talked about, like, criminal law.
Yeah, because normally we'll start on one thing and then end at, like, UFC fights or something.
Oh, I think we did that twice. I'm not sure.
I don't think we did that. And no, we stayed on fucking point relatively.
I actually had one buddy who was like listening to like our other debates, and he's just like, "Why is it that you guys keep going back to UFC fights at the end?" I'm like, "That happened once." He's like, "No, it happened twice." And you brought it up the second time. I'm like, what?
I don't know. I like UFC. You like UFC. Hell. If we got nothing else to just explore on a topic, or if our initial debate topic has no legs, well, hell. Let's talk about sports.
I think we have. I think our topics usually have plenty of legs. It's just, I don't know. We just go off into a bunch of different directions.
Yeah, exactly, or whatever. That's why I don't like.
We run the legs on the wrong paths.
Yeah, well, actually, in truth, that's why I don't. I don't like debates as much as people think, because I just like conversations and like let it go where it wants to go. If that ends up,
I'm not a huge fan of the structured format either, to be
no,
honest. Like like you're bringing in a moderator, like that just like confuses things. Like I get it in the form of like political debates. You can't have people just like shouting back and forth their talking points. You got to have somebody reining them in.
Yeah, but we're not really arguing for an elected office, and we live in different states anyway. So, but no, it's just like let it go where it needs to go. If that ends up at WWE or MMA, then fuck it.
I forget where you live. Are you up for re-election in your area?
I am up for the election of my governor, and I think one of the senators. I forget which.
All right. Do you know any way in which you're voting on that?
Probably, believe it or not, I'll probably be voting blue for governor, because I agree with him a little bit more than if it was Tim Pawlenty, I would have been voting for him. Mm-hmm. But he got beat by some mayor of Brooklyn Center, and it's like, well, that said he's a pile of shit. So I don't exactly want you running my goddamn state. But
yeah,
Pawlenty got beat because he wasn't a big Trump supporter. This guy's a big Trump supporter. I'll probably be just voting blue based on that. Or Senate or House of Representatives, I'll probably be voting whoever the fuck isn't the incumbent.
Okay.
You know, I don't have a political party. I just have, okay, are you the incumbent? Chances are I'm voting against you.
you just want somebody new in, essentially.
Basically, yeah. One of the things I wish we would have passed in this country was term limits on senators and representatives.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the idea of term limits, and in a way, I can definitely see the logic behind it, but in another way, there are valid arguments in favor of not doing so. And it's a difficult question for me that I haven't entirely figured out yet. Fucking, I don't know. I don't know which way to go on that one.
But yeah, no. Generally, if you're the incumbent, I'm voting against you. I don't give a damn what's by your name.
Yeah, I personally, I know very little about my representative. I know his name, but like, you know, I don't know much more about him beyond that. I'm very irresponsible in that sense. I know he's a Republican, and I know his name. I know he's a Republican. I'll probably look him up before I go vote. Just double check and see what his fucking shit is. But my senator is Yaw, and he's. I don't like Yaw. I mean, I don't like him in general. He's kind of like a useless senator. He doesn't do a whole lot. I wish I had control more over our other fucking senator though, because it doesn't matter. Like, I have no control over it anyway.
Well, my like, there were two senators, and one of them is Klobuchar in my state, and it's like all she is just a vote for blue. Doesn't matter what.
Yeah,
like literally a Democrat can put.
Well, that's the thing though. I know that about my representative, but at the same time, I don't know how much he actually votes. Like, I don't even know if he's even like doing anything. I would prefer a completely ineffectual Republican than like a Democrat that fucking is like center right to the point where they'll like support more Republican policies than even the dude who wasn't even doing anything would have. Because you know, Democrats they're fucking cowards, and they don't fucking actually stand their ground on anything, and they try to make compromises all the fucking time, even when it's fucking stupid to do so. So I don't even know if I want a fucking Democrat in place.
Well, Democrats are fucking, well, let's just say this. You know what? Fuck it. I'll just say it. They're the worst people in the world.
Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and say right now the Republicans get to have that because they're in charge of literally all the branches of government.
No, it's just in terms of policy. Bernie Sanders is a fucking cancer that needs to be cut out.
Bernie Sanders, the only bad thing I found about him is that he supports trade tariffs.
And you
Which is
don't think
fucking
his
stupid.
policy to tax Americans to goddamn death?
No, because he wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
No, he wouldn't.
Have you been on his website?
Mhm.
Have you read what he wants to do? I have read it.
Yeah. I know everything that he wants to do, and I'm telling you, we can do it very easily without everybody being taxed to death. It's very easy. It's very easy.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
No.
No chance. Yeah.
No.
I mean, to
Bullshit,
be fair, none of it would actually
build
pass
anything.
anyway.
Have you ever built anything, Lundy?
Yes.
Okay. Then you should know when you're going to get done building your deck or whatever, it costs 3 times more than what you originally envisioned.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
But at the same time,
right now, he has a unhear profit margin.
Workhorse. That's not how economics as a general concept goes.
Okay.
Because you can actually cost basically all of your things very, very reliably.
Well,
that's why we have economists.
Well, that's why things have to be paid back too. And again, his plan,
honestly, Workhorse, we could easily take care of everything that he wants to do just by taking away some money from our fucking military budget.
Oh, it would be very easy. That is not the biggest line item in the budget.
Yeah, it is. That is the thing we spend the most.
It is Medicare and it is Medicaid.
It is the single thing. It is the single thing. It is the single thing.
No,
it is
It is Medicare. It is welfare. It's all these social programs.
Oh yeah. Do you have a source on that? Do you have any idea how much of our budget actually goes into each one of these individual ones? Here, I'll help you look it up here. Policy basics, word war, federal tax dollars, tax dollars. Does that even tell me? I know it's not a lot, but Social Security was 24% of our budget last year.
One program.
Well, I think Social Security is kind of a necessity.
All right, this is just from Wikipedia. I'll send you the article. I'll send you it right here, right now. This is on our private chat, and this is
holy shit, Workhorse. Our safety net programs that you're bitching about are only 9% of our budget.
Really, $500 billion.
$366 billion, but yeah.
No, it was more like $470 billion.
Safety net programs include the refundable portions of the earned income tax credit, child tax credit, all the welfare stuff that you're fucking bitching about, benefits for retirees and veterans.
Social Security.
Yeah, Social Security is not. Social Security isn't a safety net program. Social Security.
Safety net.
Social Security is not a safety net. Workforce.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so when someone retires, and we don't want them to just starve to death because they're not working anymore because they can't. That's a safety net?
Yeah.
All right, you and I have two very different ideas of what a safety net is.
You had 50 fucking years to squirrel away a little bit of money to pay for your diaper years. Why in the hell should I be forced with my tax dollars to pay for your I don't care about your grandma. I don't care about your grandma, this grandma, that. I do not give a flying
because they gave you the economy you're currently enjoying.
No, they didn't.
They necessarily
did. I'm enjoying.
They necessarily did because they are fundamental parts of the economy. There's no way you can get around this. They were the workers before you. Then
why the fuck should I support them?
Because they are the reason that you can have a job.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Because without them, we wouldn't have an economy.
The reason I have a job is because, well, in my field, young people.
No, because if they didn't work, we wouldn't have an economy, Workhorse. You understand that, right?
God. So we have to give. You are aware.
Listen, War Corpse.
That in
I know you don't. I know you don't care.
1-to-1. We're going to be 1-to-1 with retirees.
Listen, War Corpse. I know you don't care much about people outside of yourself, but I'm just telling you, even from a completely egoistic standpoint, it is beneficial to help people in general, because the better everyone else is doing, the better you will be doing. And that includes the elderly. Because here's the thing, if you don't take care of them, here's the thing, Workhorse, if you don't help take care of them, you're putting that burden on their families. And if their families, and hold on. If their families are not capable of taking care of them, then their families are going to go destitute trying to, because they're not going to just let their grandma die.
Put a bullet in grandma's brain?
No one does that because no one's a psychopath. Well, 1/10 of our country is a psychopath, but people don't do that. So that's ridiculous, and you can't even possibly put that forward seriously. So if they can't take care of it, then they go destitute. And if they're doing badly, everybody, hold on.
Your job. Your fucking job. Hold on, let me finish. Your job is to take care of your grandma. My job was to take care of my grandmas. Now, thankfully, they're both dead. But my job was to take care of them. Okay? It's your job to take care of your elderly relatives.
You say that?
Not the rest of us.
You say that while your grandmothers enjoyed Social Security and shit.
And I was pissed off at them for it.
Oh, wait. But if they didn't, then you'd have to spend more money supporting them.
No, I wouldn't have.
Oh, so you would just let them die.
The amount I fucking give every goddamn week to Social Security would have been more than enough to support my grandmas every week.
Oh, please.
Fuck you. Yes.
No, not even kinda.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
Really?
Really.
Have you looked at your check?
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe me and you are in different tax brackets, but I get
yeah. I have looked at my check. Trust me, there is no possible way if you just gave me that Social Security tax back that would be able to support jack shit.
Bullshit.
I would have been fucking telling you.
I would have been able to support.
Do I have a fucking like?
I would have been able to support my fucking grandmas on what is taken out of my goddamn check.
Okay, fine. Let's just say you're rich and you can do that. What about people who can't?
Don't care. It's your problem.
Okay, so just let people die then. I personally, I don't want people to die.
But you're fine with abortion. I love this logic.
Again, War Corpse.
You say that
fetuses aren't people.
Oh my God! Old people need to die.
People.
No, they're not.
Wait,
somebody's staring at yogurt for 10 minutes. And who doesn't have a clue as to what's going on outside the world.
Workhorse, my grandmother is a very healthy individual who is very active in her life.
I say, okay, you say there's a minimum. I say there's a maximum. And after 70, we get to take you outside behind the old woodshed.
Yeah, and yet, in order to get the death penalty, you have to be like super fucking sure that they did it to a level that can't possibly be disputed in any way. But once you hit the age of 70, we'll go ahead and throw you in the chair. Like your fucking philosophy doesn't make any sense.
Neither does yours.
No, mine makes perfect sense. It's completely consistent with itself. And you just keep trying to point to this inconsistency that only exists in your mind, that I'm okay with abortion. And I've told you why, and it just doesn't register with you. It just goes in one ear and out the other.
No, my problem is that, look, there is either human life is sacred or it's not.
I'm not talking. Hold on. What the fuck are you talking about? I can go ahead and say human life isn't sacred while also pointing out that everyone benefits if everyone is doing well. It's a very simple economic concept.
No. Either human life is sacred or it's expendable. I say it's expendable.
That's not a dichotomy, War Corpse.
Yes, it is.
Expendable and sacred are not a dichotomy. There's a fucking spectrum in there, buddy.
No, there's not.
Yes,
it's real. It's real fucking simple.
Holy shit! Yes, there is.
It's the same thing I got into with the dark conservatarian. He hates abortion, but he's fine with the death penalty. And I said, look, you have to have a standard.
Holy shit! I told you what my standard is. You just don't understand it.
I understand it perfectly.
Okay, what's my standard then? What's my standard if you understand it so well?
Okay, you believe, as I believe, that if humans do not have a brain yet, I'm going to paraphrase a bit, but I'm going to assume this is where your standard is. Humans that do not have a brain yet, the brain is not developed, we can abort them.
No,
what's your standard?
It's not about the brain being developed. Personage is something that I define as somebody who is capable of, or has been capable of reciprocating the rights that we give them, as well as potentially, at the very least, being able to register the world around them.
You have got to be kidding me.
Okay.
Like, you're going to stand there because a newborn is not capable of reciprocating the rights that we give.
But they also have the ability to register the world around them.
Not really.
Yeah, really.
They just stare at the world with bright-eyed wonder.
Sure.
Okay.
Wait, that's literally what I just. That's literally what I said.
But they can't register it. They don't.
What do you mean they can't register it? What are you talking about?
This is where radical feminists say that post-birth abortion should be legal.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, you have to have a cutoff date. When do you believe that a woman should no longer be able to... When do you consider abortion murder?
When the fetus is capable of feeling pain. Which is usually somewhere in the third trimester. However, most of the time when an abortion happens in that sense, it's not because they forgot. It's more because there's some sort of pregnancy problem that the baby could die if it's birthed, or it could pose a problem to the woman's life in that sense, and that's why it's usually done. So that's why I'm usually okay with it happening in that sense, because there's other mitigating circumstances.
Okay, I tend to agree with you. I personally think we begin and we end with our brains. Once the brain is formed, you're a person. Once it dies, you're dead.
Okay,
this is our alpha. This is the omega.
Your brain doesn't die because you have Alzheimer's.
Well, you're also the motherfucker that said, God, in a roundabout way, that newborn babies aren't people. So
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
You made that accusation, and I informed you as to why they fit my standard of a person just fine. And then you said, well, no, they don't.
No, you said that you got to be cognizant of the world around you. Newborn babies are not cognizant.
Yes, they are.
And they're not. No, they're not. They're not capable of. Like, if I walk up to a newborn baby with a scary mask on, they're not going to know. They're not going to know that from Adam.
Lack of experience. That's not saying they're not cognizant. There's a difference between those. What the fuck? It's because they don't recognize a mask yet. Because they don't have something to fucking compare it with. This is like your notion that newborns don't have.
They're basically running on instinct.
Your notion that newborns don't have the ability to register anything is fucking nonsense. There's no reason to believe that.
Once again,
holy shit.
They're running on instinct. Nothing more.
Holy shit. Like you just not like that's, and personally, I think that's fine. I think that's sufficient.
Okay. Then when we put dogs down.
Yeah, I'm against that too. Well, if you put a dog down because they need to be euthanized because otherwise they're going to suffer terribly, there's a difference.
Okay. So would you like to tell me how we can rehabilitate dogs and how we should send
I'm not a pet psychologist. I don't know the science.
Well, there's only one way.
Well, so you say, but then again, you have a track record of just pulling shit out of your ass a lot. So,
So do you.
I mean, you keep saying that, but you can't actually demonstrate that at all.
Oh, the dogs may be different than humans. I don't know.
Sure, dogs are different than humans. That's why different studies are done for dogs than humans. I mean, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
For a fact, I don't either. The fuck were we going for? We
I
got
don't
on
fucking
newborn
know.
babies and
We were going to close it out, and then fucking I don't know what the hell happened.
I don't know. Conor McGregor lost his fight. Let's fucking just round it out with this.
Conor McGregor.
Let's just fucking round it out with MMA. Fuck it.
Fucking...
Fuck it. This is our tradition.
I didn't actually like watch the fight. I didn't actually like watch the fight. Like how
watched. I heard he just got dominated, and I heard the Kala Beeb dude or whatever the fuck his name is. I already got into a big brouhaha outside the cage.
Holy shit! Khabib has a 27-0 record.
Oh, I knew he was good. I knew this was not going to be a pushover for McGregor. I don't know where the fuck he goes with this unless he's going to do what he says. And he said once he beats McGregor, he wants to retire.
I mean, that
he retires.
Sense. That would, hey, retiring with a 27-0 record, I fucking would. Especially if you beat McGregor, who's like the new bad boy in town.
Yeah. But I will say, the reason, the biggest, stupidest, dumbest thing that UFC ever did was go to these stupid fucking uniforms. Because fighters are individuals.
Well, here's the thing. The reason that they're doing this sort of thing is because the UFC is trying to tap into the World Wrestling Federation market. I don't know if you've noticed this, but like they've been dramatizing a lot of their fucking like interviews and fucking like press conferences and shit. So like a lot, they've been fucking going on. They've been having their fighters go on like fucking talk shows and shit to like.
Yeah, WWE doesn't have uniforms though.
No, well they do tights. Like when you know someone's gonna be wrestling, you kind of know what they're going to be looking like.
And believe it or not, I am actually against that. I like it when the guy would come out in street clothes, cut a promo, and then
which is basically what the UFC's been doing lately. Like they've essentially been having like people they've been having their fighters go to like press conferences and they have like fucking starting some shit and talking some shit and like fucking taking their fucking shirts off, being like what like they're fucking making it like more dramatized for people's enjoyment. I'm pretty sure they're trying to tap into that wrestling fan money.
I'm a wrestling fan, and it's at least for me. I can't speak for the other fans, but it's not working. It's again. I mean, wrestling is a work.
I haven't been like into wrestling in like several years now, but I do have other friends who have been into wrestling and they've been
dog shit.
That's kind of why I jumped off. That's kind of why I jumped ship because like I didn't really care about what was going on anymore. But
wrestling fans should be terrified.
I do know
because
hold on.
Should they be? Yes, wrestling fans should be terrified right now because the biggest event they could put together that was in a place they had not been for 16 years was two guys. One was 40 plus, almost 50. The other is in his 50s, in The Undertaker and Triple H. That is their goddamn main event. Wrestling, like, why they have treated the WWE title like it's trash. The Universal title wasn't even defended. Like the WWE title was treated like a curtain jerker. Why not put the old guys at the middle of the card and then the WWE title, which is supposed to be your most important thing? Oh, I don't know. Someplace near, I don't know, the main event. Nobody is allowed to be a personality there. AJ Styles is probably going to be their last personality.
Well, from what I've been able to tell,
and he's fucking 40. 41, as a matter of fact.
Since 2013, at least, that's the best I've been able to find. They've been increasing their fucking sales and revenue like by millions of dollars.
Oh yeah, no. This is the other thing. WWE thinks everything is fine because they just signed $1 billion deal with Fox or whoever or whoever's. They're rolling in dough. But the sad fact of the matter is, their product fucking sucks.
I think I have some buddies that I know from high school who now I know on Facebook, and they're usually talking about wrestling whenever I see them talking. And they're pretty okay with things as it is. And I know they're also UFC fans. One of them even pointed out that the UFC has become a new wrestling thing, and they don't even know it yet.
Well, yeah, because it's two guys that want to beat the shit out of each other. That's what wrestling used to be.
Well, wrestling was kind of since like the 70s, at least, more of a show than anything. Like before the 70s, if I remember right, I don't remember exactly when they switched up, but if there was a time in which the professional wrestling, like the people inside knew that it was fake, but like they did their best to make it look real for everybody else. And,
yeah,
like,
kayfabe.
Yeah. Well,
kayfabe.
No, I don't mean kayfabe. I mean like at the community at large who watched wrestling was under the presumption that it was real for a while. And then like the 60s or the 70s happened, and then everyone started to realize that this is a little bit unrealistic. And basically the wrestling corporations caught on to that, and they're like, well, let's make this more of a show then. And have
that didn't happen until the 80s with A Current Affair, I think, was the first one to really, kind of dive in and say, hey, this is all bullshit. They're calling shit in the ring. And that's where you get the famous John Stossel slap.
Yeah.
Where he got his ass whipped by a wrestler. But, here's the thing.
So I don't know. I'm not sure, because
in the 80s, you had, even like take Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Randy Savage. You had a thing there where you wanted to see two guys fight, even if you knew it was fake.
Yeah.
You don't have that now. Roman Reigns, when was the last time you hunkered down and you said, you know what? I'm going to watch a good old Roman Reigns match. Ever?
Actually, yeah. I used to when I was like moderately still into wrestling, I kind of liked Roman Reigns. Thought he was actually like pretty cool. I remember actually, I can't remember who it was that he was wrestling, but no, I don't remember the guy's name, but I remember his shtick very well. Essentially, he was like the big fat dude with like the big old fucking beard who was like running a cult.
Oh, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, there was a match between him and Bray Wyatt, or at least they were in the same match together. And from what I saw, it was pretty fucking impressive for two big guys.
Okay, again.
That was sort of the match that
I watched it, and to me it was.
Well, I remember after that match, there basically every wrestling publication was like, that was some fucking good ass shit right there. That was like Bray Wyatt and fucking Roman Reigns. They fucking performed their hearts out there. Like that seems to be the consensus.
Well, I don't have a wrestling publication, but okay, that was probably in 2014.
That was back when the Shield was still a thing.
Okay, 2014. Oh, you're probably doing the Shield versus Wyatt family thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
2014. That was 4 years ago.
Yeah. But I don't know. Again, I haven't really been into wrestling that much for the last several years, so.
Well, the program is dog shit, but I'm starting to really yawn here.
So. Yeah, and you've been drunk for about half of this at least, so.
No, I haven't.
Well, you've been slurring a lot. I know that much.
I slur when I'm sober and I'm tired.
Okay, so it's just
So,
it's a mix. It's a mix of
yeah, kind of. And also, I took a nap before we did this. I woke up.
Yeah, I took a nap for my fucking lunch break at work, and then they had me stay later because some fucking people came in last minute because they're assholes.
So, all right. Well, I think we can probably end this son of a bitch.
Yeah,
And
probably a good idea.
all right. I am Lord of Patriarchy. He is Big Lundy. And we'll probably do this again before too long.
Probably.